Bulldog Nation, you are now going to witness, watch, and listen to the best podcast in the league. Get set for a wild ride with From the Hill Podcast, featuring Wayne Cartwright, Damian Green, Tenarius Gooden, David Thomas, Jennifer Murray, and Corey Williams. Don't miss out. Subscribe now to From the Hill Podcast. It's time to turn up the excitement and make some noise.
What's good, family?
What's up? What's up?
What up?
What's up?
Hey, it is a great Bulldog evening, and I am excited to be here with you three one more time.
Jay the Great. We ain't seen him in a minute.
We ain't seen Jay in a month of Sundays.
Hold on. Now, explain why I went on. Don't do that. Explain why I went on.
We ain't got to explain. We just saying we ain't seen in a while. That's all.
And we missed you, Jen.
That's all.
Yeah. Love it, man. Love it. Well, I am excited because we have another special show tonight where we get to dig a little bit even deeper into our football staff. So we've already had two very good shows on it. I hope everybody's had a chance to check that out. That those that weren't able to watch it live. And you know, man, amongst everything that's been going on here in society, it's always been good to look and see some Bulldog programs doing some winning. Football is definitely doing some great things as they roll into spring practice. Our women's basketball team, shout out to Coach Thornton and her entire staff and the entire team for crossing the 20-win threshold on Saturday. They do have a lot in front of them, man. It's a lot in front of them. A lot of great opportunity in front of them as they head to the state of Louisiana this week, Thursday night, where they'll look to continue to set themselves up for a great position in the SWAC women's basketball tournament. Our men, by the way, yeah. So,
the men are going to be in the tournament.
They made it to the tournament.
Yeah, that's Cinderella. What they call it, Cinderella story. I'm here for it.
Hey, survive in advance, maybe.
Right, survive in advance.
What I'm saying? Survive in advance.
Hey, shout out to the student athletes.
Play y'all butts off, man.
That's it.
Play like you might not play the next day.
There you go.
Listen. Everyone starts off 0-0 in the tournament, so that
that's true.
Go up.
He
go
told
ahead,
us
head up.
One of the things, y'all know that while on the hill, I was in house arrest, and one of the things that we always said, you know, to your point, T was dance like no one is watching. So, like you said, play like you ain't gonna play the next day.
Play like you just didn't like. You can't get any worse than losing 42 points to your rival. What else you got to lose?
That's all facts, man. Hey, Arby made it funny. He said, that's a nice way to put it, Wayne. That's all I got for you, man.
That was a hard loss, man.
Week. I'll be here all week. That's all I got.
Terrible.
Losing to the rivals and then by 40+ points.
Bro, look,
Oh,
I was
42. Give them all 8 points. It's 42.
I was working.
Give them all the points, too.
Yep.
I was working my indoor conference championship this weekend up at Oberlin College. Shout out to the good folks at Oberlin College. And I'm sitting there. I think it was we were getting ready to do another running event, and we had like 10 minutes, you know, in between. And I see the group chat, and I'm like, you know, it's funny when I'm working on Saturdays and we're playing, I always know when we're not winning or losing based off of what y'all say in the chat. All I had to do was see the chat and just was like, yeah, we getting the hell beat out of us probably.
But you know, even with that, you know, Alabama State's gym was so empty. that, I mean, did we really lose? I mean, technically, we could tell
Yeah.
who won, and when nobody knows, who gonna argue with us?
When nobody had to see it.
When nobody there to see it.
Yeah, that is true. Nobody was there. It's amazing how the impact is different. Like you get all the support here in Huntsville, but it's not as much when you go down there in Montgomery. I don't know why, but people in Huntsville, we tend to love Alabama A&M basketball. I mean, it was like that before the Elmore. Before we got to the event center. It was the same way in Elmore. You better get there.
Listen,
you can't get in.
Listen, if tip-off at Elmore, if tip-off was at 2 o'clock, you need to be in the bleachers by 12.
Right.
Because you're going to be outdoors.
Elmore used to be crazy.
Sitting on those hard bleachers for many hours.
Listen, we have to stand up, not just to chill, but just so your butt will continue to be numb. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Hot.
Bro, I remember when you used to go there when there was a party at a club after the game on Saturday night. People wore the clothes that they wore to the club to the game because you leave right from the game. Everybody be up in there hot.
Mm-hmm.
But look at here. It said Acadome was empty, but Coach Dawn was dressed for the event. She
Listen,
sure was.
Let me tell you.
Do you hear me? Dressed.
Coach Thornton got the world in a chokehold because after every game on something, and not just on, in the Facebook groups, things like that, but other platforms, she is on there and it's all about, her fashions, and, people have their opinions or whatever, but a lot of people also do come to her defense with some of the things that she wears. So you can just always find, if it's not her, it might be her stylist that, just showing off the garment this year with that particular game, and the comments just go crazy. Her post or tweets, IG, whatever about Coach Thornton has gone viral each time. Like, the comments are in the thousands. I mean, like 15,000. The likes and the shares are in the double-digit thousands as well, and like I said, she got the whole world in the chokehold.
And it's like you literally see people that I've never seen even talk about sports. Period. Talking about they want to get to an A&M game. So keep it going, Coach. You are the diva for real.
Yeah, since we are talking about it, we did bring it up. We're actually gonna have Coach Dawn Thornton, stylist, on the show next Tuesday. So she will be joining us next Tuesday to just chit chat a little bit. Y'all know how we do.
Yeah, and also next Tuesday, which will be great. That's a real good segue. Next Tuesday, we'll have the setup for the SWAC tournament because they'll have all of the 10 teams. They'll all be seated. They'll have the full schedule laid out. So we'll go through that for everybody next week as well. So what y'all can see across the bottom of the screen, as we always do, we've got the updated, it's still winter sports schedules, but it's vastly crossing over into spring sports here pretty quickly. You can see women's basketball, men's basketball. They're going to be in Louisiana Thursday and Saturday, so both of those are double headers. Take note that the men's game, if you'd like to watch the men's game, it'll be on Thursday night on SWAC Digital Network. So you can check that out. Also, some key.
Which game we talking about, Wayne?
The Grambling game for the men's basketball.
It's a double header too. So I think both of them would be on the SWAC game, right?
They only had the men's game listed as SWAC Digital Network.
Okay.
Now perhaps the women's game could be too.
Gotcha.
I mean, definitely tune in, but it wasn't advertised as such.
Okay.
Also, baseball, they have a three-game series this weekend at home against Alcorn State. All 3 games will be on Bulldog Access. Also, Thursday, women's softball. Shout out to softball. I ain't never been more impressed by 8-0 loss than I was by their 8-0 game against the number 2 team in the country, Texas Longhorns, on their field on Sunday. That's big. Getting it done, because those are games that y'all know the score would be.
I can't wait until I'm able to go to an actual game here. If you look at the highlights on social media, they look like the young ladies are having so much fun.
They do.
They're having a ball out there playing. They're having a good time. So if you if you want to see what they got going on, go to, I think it's AAMU.softball on Instagram.
I think that's it.
Yeah, either dot or underscore softball.
Yeah. So they have a doubleheader against Detroit Mercy, another Horizon League team. You remember previous week they had Oakland Grizzlies from the Horizon League come to Huntsville. Detroit Mercy, they're coming to Huntsville. One day, doubleheader Thursday, starting at noon. So both games will also be on Bulldog All Access. So great stuff, man. Great stuff. And then also, we've got spring football right around the corner. Mm-hmm. So great stuff. Oh, Edwin Moore, thank you, man. He says Swag Digital Network normally covers both games when they are there for a doubleheader. Sometimes they list one, but they use the same feed. Hey, shout out to you, Edwin Moore. Appreciate you. Yeah. So women, check it out. It'll be 6:30 Central Thursday. That's the opening game of the doubleheader at Grambling. All right. And then they play Southern on Saturday. All right. Also be remiss. I want to just Jen, what you said here for Jermaine Jenkins. Hey, shout out to you, man. We with you, brother. You support us. You support this show. We support you too, man.
Yes, we love you. We're praying for you.
Yep, definitely wanted to make sure I got that out there. So everything we got going on, those that are watching, make sure you hit the like button. Also, those that have not subscribed, let's make sure we hit that subscribe button tonight. All right, we definitely want to make sure we do that. So be very, very apprised of all the information that goes on. And also, last but not least, I got to do my civic duty tonight. All the Bulldogs, make sure you are donating towards the 150th anniversary campaign. I am in month number 4 of paying monthly towards the $1,500. So if you have not started yet, hey, today's a great day to get started. But we want to make sure that we help everybody out to reach that goal. Go ahead, Dave.
Let me add something to that real quick. So different ways you guys can donate to that 150 campaign. You guys may have seen it from our alumni chapter page, the AAMU Charlotte Queen City alumni. We are torchbearer hosts for the 150 campaign. So if you see anybody, whether it's an individual or whether it's another alumni chapter and they are torchbearers, you can also donate to their team's page, and those contributions still go to the 150 campaign.
Yeah, and just let me add to that. Avenue. Let me add to that too. Don't get discouraged if you can't donate $1,500. The school will happily take your $150, and your little kids, they got a little piggy bank, will take their $1.50 also. So we want the donation from the babies as well.
Exactly.
$1.50 the babies can donate.
It all adds up, people. It all adds up.
Yeah. Hey, man, I appreciate you, Edwin Moore. Talk about my beard tonight. It looked like I just got out of a power chair. I have not, actually. I just shaved this morning.
We're not going to make this the Edwin and Wayne show.
I have not, but I appreciate you. But
I need to go sit in one. Real talk.
Me too. Me too. I got the appointment set up for Friday.
The shop is calling me, so you just got to be there all day. When you go to
I got everything here that I can't get up here. So But
so next Tuesday, we should all be fresh next Tuesday.
That's what it sounds like.
I think so.
Should be. Also, I know before we get into our guest tonight, one other thing I want to say. Shout out to my brother Rob Kennedy. He is the president of the Cleveland chapter of AAMU Alumni Association. In the city of Cleveland on Friday night, they are doing a bowling party.
Oh, nice.
I would be remiss if I didn't bring that up. They're doing a bowling party that starts at 7 p.m. on Friday night. So it's going to be a really, really good affair. They've been actually advertising it for the last 3 weeks. And they're using this bowling party as a fundraising effort. So shout out to Rob Kennedy. He played football at A&M. Me and him went to the same high school. We still super cool. He's doing big things with the Cleveland chapter. So shout out to you and shout out to everybody in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. All right. Tonight, we're going to get this thing started. This is a meeting of football coaches continued. We have one gentleman who is on with us right now, and we're hopeful that we're going to be joined by another, but we're going to get our time started with this gentleman right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our show for the first time, Mr. Laron White. Good evening. Great Bulldog evening to you, Coach.
Good evening. How you doing?
Evening, Coach.
Doing wonderful.
Good. It's good.
Now, before we get started, Coach White, tell the folks who you are and tell us a little bit about your timeline and background.
Okay. My name's Laron White. I'm from Cortland, Alabama, and I was been a high school coach. I was a high school coach for 26 years. 6 years as assistant at Decatur High School. 14 years as head coach at Tanner High School, and my last 6 was at Sparkman High School in Harvest, Alabama. Retired from coaching, I think after the 22 season, and just was kind of working at the Cyber Technology High School for the last 2 years, but now I come on with Coach Shade and excited about this new adventure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So as far as that new adventure, tell us a little bit about this new adventure.
Well, when Coach Shea called me and we was teammates back in college and talked about it, I'm the chief of staff, slash high school director of high school relations. Of course, high school relations, being a high school coach has everything to do with, dealing with high school coaches and the players as far as the clinics and, going, having a good rapport with them and also, recruiting different high school players and having good rapport with them and everything. So everything in high school to people coming on campus or people wanting to come on campus or wanting to get in contact with the coaches and game day visits and recruiting visits, all that type of stuff, I'm involved in. And as chief of staff is very broad. I'm here to support Coach Shade and his staff, in any way possible. The smallest things to the biggest things. And also, I'm gonna try to get into more like the player personnel, where I can, visit some of the people in housing and the cafeteria and meet with the police and make sure our guys are doing the right things. They know we checking on them all the time and hold them accountable. They'll do better. And by the way, we do have some wonderful young men on this team. They're doing a great job. They're working hard, and we're excited about it. In most cases, during the season, our coaches, they get involved and they game planning and they working hard. Coach Shade, you won't be able to get a hold of those guys. So I'm the one who, if somebody need to meet with them or somebody need to, feel like you have a chance to, meet with our coaches, associate with our coaches. You can call me and everything, and at the right time, it's the right time for everything in the middle of the season. We'll try to get that set up. But, when the whistle blow for practice to start, I don't really have to be out there on the field. I can put out fires in the school. If I had to go meet with the AD or go meet with anybody at that time, that's what I'm there for.
Nice. So, Coach, you are a 2-time championship winning coach with the Tanner Rattler football team out of Limestone County, Alabama. So could you tell us how working with those young people in high school, and then how did that experience prepare you for your role now?
Well, my dad was a high school coach, and that's all. Really, be honest with you, that's all I ever wanted to do since I was a little boy. I knew I was going to be a football coach. That was my passion, And I'm a servant. I love serving those young men and teach them how to become better men. At the same time, playing tough football. We had some great kids there, and I was proud of the things we did there. I worked hard. I just spent a lot of time over there, and the kids bought into everything. So it's a special place and everything, but that's my life's calling. I want to mentor men.
Coach, this position, to my knowledge, this is the first time we had this kind of position with A&M football, and so I'm glad that we do have it, because to your point, you can handle the other things outside of the game itself, for the coach and his staff. And so with that, and with the high school relations part, and I ask this because I see a lot of things on social media from high school coaches and their gripe, I guess, about having a hard time getting in contact with coaches and things like that, because they want everybody to come out and see their players. So with you as a high school coach and being in this new position or role, what are some of the things that you want to implement? Maybe something during your time as a high school coach was like a pet peeve of yours to get in contact, or get colleges to come out and see your players. What's something that you want to try to implement here to help that?
Just to tell them, we will be around. We will recruit, North Alabama. We recruit, Alabama in general, and then we go in outside states around Alabama. But we got to get to where the best players in Alabama. We got to make sure we get there. And I was a high school coach, and those guys get busy. They very busy during the season. I understood that, but sometimes you might get your feelings hurt when they don't recruit your player or something like that. But you got to assure the coaches that.
Oh, they definitely do.
They do. It's so many guys who can play, but you can't take all of them. But the main thing is I had coaches. Some of my favorite coaches were the ones that came by every year. They came by, and no matter if I had a kid or not, those are the ones don't just come by when you got a stud, just, make sure you acknowledge those guys and come by and talk to them. And when they got just, 35 or 40 average guys playing hard. So that's the thing, just the relationships. Let them know you really care and you really want concern about their school and their players. So we're going to try to set up some things in the summer, where coaches can come by and, watch practice in the spring, or come by and have some little talks and like we used to do back in old days. So just anything to make them comfortable, where they're willing to send their kid to us when they have one.
And if you could just a little bit expound on that relationship part with these other coaches, because I would think that in the recruiting process, that's going to be something important. Yeah,
because the coach, a lot of those kids, they go by what the coach has a lot of power when it comes to kid, but most of the time we try to stay out of the way and let the kid make decisions, but we will ask questions when things don't seem right, because in recruiting, especially towards the end, if you notice in the spring here coming up in about a month or so, you'll see a lot of kids start getting offers from everywhere, and then you see them at the end of the year, like, man, that kid, where he end up at? Sometimes they go away real quickly. So we just got to make sure you establish those relationships with those guys where if you offer a kid, you stand on it. Don't let it be a token offer just because somebody else offered them. And when you start doing that, they'll trust you more, and they'll be willing to look out for you also.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
Yeah.
T, you're on mute.
My bad. The spirit of J. Dot has came to Huntsville.
Y'all finna get off me. Y'all finna get up off me tonight. I know that.
Coach, thanks for joining us again. So I really do appreciate it. My first thing, I heard you say something about the in the season, you are the person to get in contact with. So that was a word to myself, like, hey, Tenarius, don't be texting the coaches if you need them to come on. Text Coach White, because you ain't gonna be able to get in contact with the rest of them. But I just want to expound a little bit. I know you said your father, he was a coach. He won the state championship, I think 4 times at Cortland. Your father and your uncle is in the Alabama High School Athletic Hall of Fame, and your brother is currently the head coach at Bob Jones.
Yes, sir.
Do you guys ever have a regular conversation about anything, or is it always like about football?
Nah, most of the time it's about everything except football. Most of the time, like my uncle Hoover. He was my dad's coach in high school also. My dad played for his brother in high school back at Central High, and my dad played in the SWAC. He went to Alcorn, and I have tons of aunts and uncles that even half of them went to Alabama State and half of them went to Alabama A&M. My dad went to Alcorn to play football. So yeah, it's and my brother. It runs in our family. We love the game of football. And me and my brother, we during the week when we play each other, even when we was in the same, I was at Sparkman, he was at Bob Jones. We would talk about a little bit of everything. We didn't get involved into the rivalry stuff, and it was more for everybody else. I really didn't like playing against my brother. It was just kind of weigh on you a little bit. Somebody got to lose, somebody got to win. So you hate that, but it's all it ended up
right. And if it's a scuffle, you gotta help your brother, no matter who. You gotta go home with him. I gotta help my bro. So I understand that. But to follow up to that though, like you clearly got a pipeline with Bob Jones, obviously, because your brother's the head coach there. Now, David kind of expounded on it a little bit when you say that chalk talk. Like, what kind of happens? Like, when you're trying to network with these coaches through the off season and the regular season, what does that relationship look like?
Well, just allow them to come in, come into your place and just feel comfortable. Because what's happened now, back when I first came out, you can go to any school at any time, go in, watch film, and sometimes as the coach was around, he'd come talk to you about things, but everything's kind of locked down now. Especially during the season. During the season and off season is different. During the off season, we want to open. If guys want to come up and they say, "Hey, coach, can we watch some film? We want to watch some film on this certain look or what y'all did against this." We're welcome to come in. You hardly ever see that anymore. Because things just change so much. But we want to welcome those guys to come in and hang out, watch practice. Talk to the coaches and. We got plenty of our coaches. We got guys who can coach, so they don't mind getting on the board and talking about this and talking about how this formation works against this and everything. So we want to. I'm sending it out to everybody. If you want to come talk ball with us, just hit us up and we'll set something up.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah. Coach White, we kind of want to go back until your college days.
Mm-hmm.
After you graduated from Cortland, you attended the University of Alabama and you played under Coach Gene Stallings.
Yes.
And so there you won some SEC division titles as well as the 1992 national championship.
Yeah.
So a question I have for you is, what is your favorite memory from your college days? And I'm assuming a championship, but and what are some lessons that you learned from Coach Stallings?
Probably my favorite memory, man, it's a lot of them, but probably the national championship. I was a redshirt freshman, and it was just such a big atmosphere coming from a small town, and in Cortland. I ordered my first pizza when I went to deliver a pizza when I went to college. So I'm coming from a small town, and we're in a Superdome, and we're playing against man, all the, just everything was crazy. So that was a great moment for me. So that's one of my favorite memories. And then also Coach Stallings. Coach Stallings was a stoic man. I tell people all the time, even though he was my coach, if I seen him in Walmart, I probably would kind of walk the other way. Because you just have that much respect for him. You just kind of one of those guys that you respect so much. He was kind of like almost kind of untouchable, but he wasn't though. He was a nice man, and he's worked hard. He taught us about hard work, taught us about being on time, and just being good people. So we had some good people around us, and we learned a lot.
Coach, I wanted to ask, because you were almost done with, like, working. You retired from Sparkman, and then you took a part-time gig as the wellness instructor at the Alabama School of Cyber Technology and Engineering there in Huntsville. And then now you're back, working again. I guess this would be a full-time position. So what made you want to, I did also read that you were a golf fan, and during your retirement, you got to improve your golf game a little bit. So what made you want to jump back in to start working so you couldn't play any more golf? Well, maybe not as much golf, should I say.
Did we...
Can you hear us, Coach?
Uh-oh.
Can you hear us, Coach?
Oh boy, I hope we didn't lose him. We had this thing rolling.
My question was too long.
Yeah, that's what it was. I'm back. Yeah, you're back, Coach.
Go, Coach.
All right. Yeah, we got him back. Okay. Did you hear Dave's question?
I don't think he can hear us.
Yeah, I don't think he can either. We did have him, and then they went away again.
Do we need to do the take him out, bring it back in thing that always works? Can you hear us, Coach?
Okay, I got you. I'm back now.
There you go.
There we go.
But okay. I got the question. I got a question you asked.
Okay, good deal.
All right, go right ahead.
I do want to answer that. Yeah, I was done with football. At some point in time, you can just it's time. Mm-hmm. So I knew it was time. So I walked away, and I won't plan on coaching football again. Took the job at the cyber technology school, and a different type. That's a whole different road, different type of kid. I'm used to the guys and everything. So I'm around different type of kids, and I loved it. Wonderful kids. I even, Mr. Massey, the president, he even talked me into being assistant soccer coach for the girls. That was different. I was kind of like, whoa. But in the end, it was wonderful. The girls was great, so I had fun with that. And golf, I played a lot of golf last year. And that was one of the things when Coach Shea called me. I said, man, I like to play a lot of golf. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying this. So, and I'm still going to play some, even though I hadn't played much this year. I have a chance to make that up. But I did miss being around the guys, being around the coaches and just talking and laughing, because it would be some days during the whole day, that I might not, talk to many people at all, because I'm just so used to being around people. And I'm still part-time, I'm still retired. So therefore I had to be part-time, with the university. So, but it's I'm still having fun. I'm excited, kind of rejuvenated, even though I'm not on the field. And it's funny that you might not believe it, but I always have said, when I retire, I wanted to go hold a clipboard just on the scout team, run the scout team. I always said that. It's funny that, doing a little more than holding a clipboard, but it's I can't wait.
It came true.
I can't wait. I can't wait to go to the games and see the atmosphere and everything.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wayne, what I'll do here is, man, just go into the group with a couple questions just to see. So we'll start with Mr. Edwin Moore. He said that he's hearing that your position is starting to pop up at HBCUs, perhaps slightly a different title. Has this position become necessary due to changes in college sports, or has the AD role become too demanding?
Nah, this job is necessary. Actually, this job, chief of staff, general managers, player personnel. We could use 2 or 3 more people involved in the recruiting process, and just the day-to-day works. There's a lot go on. Jason Meyer does the football ops, and he has a lot on his plate. So some things that he does that I can take off his plate and help him out some. So, but yeah, behind the scenes, you have tons of people who have to get a lot of things done because the landscape of the game is changing. So so this is necessary.
Yes, sir. Okay. And one of the other questions that I saw in there is Wayne, go up to Eric Cloy real quick. Coach White, do you have any are you on social media anywhere? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anything like that?
I'm on Facebook. I think I just got back on Twitter. I'm not sure where it is, but yeah, that was that, yeah. So that one, I'm on Instagram also. I'm not sure what all of them are,
come on.
I'm
old school, man.
Coach, you need to get your own chief of staff. Sounds like.
Yeah, you got it right.
Coach, listen, don't listen to it because I can only keep up with 2 at a time. So I feel it's either Facebook or Twitter. I can't do all of it. It's too much.
You just can't look up your name. Yeah, no, you can't do that.
You can look it up. I'll find you on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll definitely find you.
We'll get you out of here with 2 more here.
Okay.
Both from the same guy.
Gotcha.
Coach White, with the fast pace of recruiting on recruiting, how does your focus on high school athletics look during the spring and summer?
Well, spring and summer. Well, spring, right now, we kind of looking for 26 kids, guys who coming out in 2026. Also, you still got the portal going to open up here pretty soon. You have guys jumping in that. So you got to, as soon as that open up, you got to eval those kids. So it's all the time. It's all the time with the portal going on, and you can't forget about the high school kids. But when you take a high school kid, you can't miss. You gotta really do your evaluating. Mm-hmm. You gotta really. That's what I'm gonna do during the season while those guys game planning and coaching and everything. I have to be able to identify guys that we need to bring in. That's part of my job also. So
yeah, you kind of answered the last question, kind of what you just said, and what your typical week look like. So you probably watching film. You probably on
watching
the phone.
film. And we know staff meetings. I go to all the staff meetings, and I like this week. That's the first time I went on campus. I met the housing director yesterday. I met the lady over the cafeteria. Just going to meet people, and I'll try to do that once or twice a week. Also, the film watching and just still coaches. Some of the coaches still looking for schools and housing and all that type of stuff. If they want, right now they're staying on campus, but if they want to get an off-campus housing, something like that, so I'm showing them apartments and all that type of stuff. So it's kind of like I say, it's broad. So it's gonna be different every day for me.
That's a lot. Well, somebody you know real well, because when you brought up Cortland, Alabama, this was the first person I thought of.
Oh, it's my cousin, Adrian.
Yeah, shout out to you, Adrian. Me and her, we go way back, man. She was at A&M same time I was. So as soon as you said Cortland, Adrian, you was the first person I thought of.
And make Adrian your chief of staff so she can hook up that Twitter and Instagram for you.
You heard that, Adrian? You on the clock.
Yeah, post it. It's there. I just don't know what it is.
Hey, well, Coach, I know you got a lot of things going on, and I know you're still kind of growing your way and feeling your way around, but we know that that this is going to be another chapter in your illustrious life book, your life novel. One more question here. Definitely want to put this. Edwin Moore said, when was his dad at Alcorn?
What's my dad? Say it again now.
When was your dad at Alcorn?
My dad graduated college in 67, so 67, 68, 69, and 70, I think.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And Adrian said she'll hook you up. We'll do. Okay. LOL. So, Coach, Chief of Staff, we definitely look forward to hearing a little bit more as you go through, because one of the things that I definitely want to be able to do as we get a little bit closer to the season, I want to kind of talk a little bit about what a typical day in the life and chief of staff in that world looks like, because I know you guys got like logistical things and, so between yourself and Coach Mai and all those different things, I know that there's a lot of inner workings that go behind it, but we definitely want to know the things that you can share. We ain't looking for any trade secrets. So here on From the Hill podcast, we do know trade secrets.
Okay, do that.
And if you guys can, try to work out with those black uniforms for the fall. We had
black uniforms.
Yeah, man. Last week we just talked about, the basketball team's uniforms, the softball team's uniform. It was like, the football team came out with some black uniforms.
Yeah, but my pay grade right there.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good answer.
Just show them this clip. Just show them this clip.
I said, man, don't get the chief of staff.
David trying to get you jammed up in some stuff already.
Old school alumni, I don't like that too well.
Hey,
well, you be in the principal
send them my way.
Hey, they'll say send it to Alabama State. They're trying to send you down there already.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, don't get him in the principal's office, man.
Right.
Hey, but Coach Laron White, man, hey, this was great, man. Appreciate you for taking the time. Definitely look forward to catching up with you some more. And once you get that social media together, a lot of folks will be connecting and finding you. All right.
Okay, I found him on Facebook already. He's Laron White. Make sure you accept my Facebook request, Coach White.
All right, Coach. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Hey, L. White, man. Like he said, the black uniform campaign.
Hey, and
man,
we wear it proudly. We wear it proudly.
Listen,
Hey, I'm down with. Hey, you see how it looks right now?
We got our logo and name and stuff on black hats, black sweatshirts, and hoodies. We can do some black uniforms with the same way they did with the basketball and softball. Black uniforms with maroon.
Do I need to make some signs?
Man, man, could you see that though? Could you see that though? Them boys coming out with some black uniforms and some black shoes
with that maroon shining through.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm telling you.
Hey, and then for this game, we're gonna put the other Bulldog to the side. We're gonna get a Rottweiler like Nino Brown had in New York City. In the New York City Rottweiler. And we running out the tunnel.
Hey, I'm weak.
The gray uniforms were nice, J-Rob. The gray uniforms were nice. When they brought those gray uniforms out, I mean, I think everybody enjoyed those uniforms. Those were nice. It was funny when Coach Maynard came out. I don't know if y'all saw it on social media, but Coach Maynard came out and presented the uniforms, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Hey, but shout out to Coach White, man. That was a great segment with him. So one thing I want to transition over, we had a special Bulldog that made his way to Indianapolis over the weekend. You might have seen him. Big Carson Vinson. He was the only HBCU football player invited to the combine. So he worked out on NFL Network on Sunday, where he did his on-field drills, ran the 40 in 5.1, did very admirably in his on-field drills. Some of the things that I just want to say before I turn it over to you guys. I read an interesting article today on ESPN.com. They were talking in this article about the combine and also small schools. Small schools used to be a fixture of where scouts used to reside. Scouts do not spend a lot of time on small campuses as much as they used to. The combine this year did not have a single Division II or Division III player invited. That used to be something that used to be very common for years and years. Also, last year in the draft, out of the 256 players that were selected, only 31 of those were not from a Power 5 at the time, now Power 4 conference. and 19 of those 31 were from what you know as the group of 5. So there were 12 that came from the FCS level or below. So for Carson Vincent to have his chance to first make it to the Senior Bowl, and then second, be able to be at the combine, is a feat in itself that cannot be understated. Because we're in a day and age where, as the article has stated, it said that the narrative now is that these scouts and a lot of these front office people, they're looking for power players, power 4 players, because they believe that the power 4 players are more polished. They believe that they're more experienced. And then the last thing I'll say before I turn it over to you guys, they talked about the transfer portal. And they said that players that used to transfer, it used to be one of those things that it was almost like a tough piece during interviews at the combine if you were a transfer, where people would ask you, how come you transferred, as if it was a knock against your character. And maybe you don't have commitment, and maybe you just have issues with leadership. Now, with the transfer portal as common as it is, the only way that people would be made to feel uncomfortable is if you played at, let's say, like 3 schools. Okay. But the article finished its point by saying that the small school player has been brushed aside because of the pressures that not just these big power programs have to win, but also these NFL front offices and scouts that have the pressures to be able to nail a draft pick. And so that's why you see a lot of our players from our levels, they end up going through the undrafted free agent route. And as you know, there are several HBCU players that are on NFL rosters. Xavier Smith with the Rams, went to FAMU. Marquise Bell went to FAMU. James Houston from Jackson State. There's others. But for Carson Vincent to do what he was able to do, first off, I was just so excited to see this logo right here on NFL Network and Rich Eisen say, we have an Alabama A&M Bulldog. that was very, very exciting for me. So I just wanted to just say that. I'll turn it over to you guys, whoever wants to take over and speak.
Well, the first thing that I want to say is, we get a lot of people that always say, well, people put in players' heads that are good at Alabama A&M, hey, if you go get in the portal and go somewhere else, you could get looked at and you'll have a chance to get drafted. We can't use that excuse no more. We can't use the weight room. Well, we never could be able to use it. I'm just looking on my phone real quick, and we talked about this kind of the other day. The draft picks for Alabama A&M. And I just want to go through the last draft picks that we've had. And I say the last 20 years. The last draft pick we had was Frank Curse. Frank Curse was just inducted into the Alabama A&M Football Hall of Fame. He was 2011, round 7, 28. He got drafted to the Miami Dolphins. Before that, it was 2007. Johnny Baldwin got drafted to the Detroit Lions. Before that, in 2003, we know is Robert Mathis got drafted to the Indianapolis Colts. So you don't have to go anywhere else to be found. Again, it's all about the work that you put in. We can't keep giving that out. These kids want to so and so because they want to get picked. Well, the last few players, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, the last few players that have transferred out to go get a better look, where have they ended up?
On the bench or as a role player?
Right, but not the NFL, right?
Nope.
Correct. So we gotta stop doing that. I'm glad that Carson has shown that, and when he got up there, he spoke very highly of Alabama A&M. And he made sure he mentioned Alabama A&M every time he spoke. So I'm glad he did well. Hopefully his name comes out the board pretty soon. I know it's going to come off the board. It's just where he fall is what we're looking at now. But shout out to him, man. Shout out to his teammates. Shout out to everybody. Another thing too, Wayne, just to piggyback on what you were saying. A lot of these people, like everybody, is under a lot of pressure. The NFL scouts are, the head coaches are. You guys know when Coach Sanders came to the SWAC, that put our coach under a lot of pressure because we had just won the SWAC, and that year, the following year, we got embarrassed by Jackson State here, and there was obviously a talent difference. But he went 7-3 that year, and folks wanted the man fired.
Yep,
he went 7-3. Yep. So there's a lot of pressure that comes with that stuff, man. So that's just the name of the game. You can't coach scared, but these coaches know, like, you got to make the right pick. You got to make sure you sign the right student. You got to make sure the right quarterback is playing, because if not, people that don't understand the game and understand development, or choose not to understand it, let me say,
right,
we'll get on social media behind the keyboards and want the guy gone, just like that.
Yeah, I think to your point about Carson, excuse me, and him representing himself and Alabama A&M at the combine, how he spoke, so highly of the university. But I think Carson knew also that outside of him representing himself, his family, the university, he was also representing all the other HBCU players that were not invited, not only to the Senior Bowl, but to the combine as well. He said that, with schools that, he's played against, there are definitely some other HBCU players that he felt deserves to be there. So he went into this whole entire thing knowing that he was going to have to definitely represent a lot, and to show that, hey, we do have talented players, at our HBCUs. We do have players that can compete with these guys at, higher than the FCS level. So I was really proud about that, all his performances, and I really liked how, his name is definitely getting talked about a lot by these different analysts, by these different podcasts. Everybody knows who he is now, and it helps him and his draft stock, and it also helps the university as well, because now they'll say, oh, Alabama A&M probably do have some good guys, and hopefully it says, okay, yeah, we can start looking more at the HBCUs. But I wanted to ask you guys, get your thoughts about this. I saw this on Twitter. It was posted by Blue, things that he heard while he was at the Senior Bowl and at the Legacy Bowl, regarding FCS prospects and how these could be potential red flags. And there were two questions actually, and they were because they didn't transfer to a FBS program. Were they scared of better competition, or are they not good enough to play at that level?
Yeah.
So scouts, I guess what he was trying to, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it sounds like, if scouts see these talented FCS players and say, hey, you can definitely play at that next level, why haven't you transferred yet? There must be something else there, and they're looking at these as red flags.
So I'll say it like this, and I'll say it from two different angles. All right. So first and foremost, I did see that tweet, and that also was brought up in this ESPN article as well, from the stance of it was first used with there's a North Dakota State lineman who also worked out on Sunday, who's viewed, Gray Zabel is his name. He's viewed as a first rounder, and he was asked why he stayed at North Dakota State instead of taking more offers. And he said he knew that the criticism was going to be out there about having his loyalty to that program because he didn't take any more offers to go to a higher level. He said that he wanted to stick with the program that believed in him. And also there was another guy who worked out on Saturday. He went to he graduated from Delaware. He's a running back. Now, this is another thing that has to be stated. This gentleman, I can't remember his name, but he went to Delaware. This gentleman said that his senior year of high school, he fractured his knee. When he fractured his knee, he lost all of his Power 5 offers. Delaware was one of the few schools that believed in him and gave him a full scholarship. So when it came down to him wanting to potentially transfer for his senior year, he said, no, Delaware believed in me when all those other power programs ducked and ran when I fractured my knee because they didn't believe that I was ever going to be the same prospect again. So I say all this to say that a lot of the perceptions that are out there about the talent and not moving up, or maybe you're not good enough. I said this before when T had asked the question earlier. There's a lot of players that have transferred and moved up, expecting to find greener pastures. Instead, ending up either getting maybe half of your snaps, getting only 10% of your snaps, or maybe getting no snaps. So I'll put this question to those that may feel that not staying at an FCS school or staying at an FCS school is wrong for you. If you're on the field and you're performing and you're doing things, you're playing, you're getting better, you're developing. How can you develop at a big school when you're on the bench? And so that's where I say there's two sides of that equation. Yeah, you could move up. Maybe you can find the right situation and catch lightning in a bottle and boom, you light it up one year. There have been a few that have done that. Cam Ward might end up being the number 1 pick of the draft. Cam Ward started his career at Incarnate Word. Then he went to Washington State, and then he went to Miami, and he's probably going to be the number 1 pick of the draft. But for one Cam Ward, there's 1,000 other guys who never got off the bench or never even got any part of the glory that they had when they were on the FCS level.
Hey, I'm sorry, Jen, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I also want to bring up, I don't know if I know everyone remembers this. About maybe, I forgot how long ago it was, but the Celebration Bowl that Tyreek Cohen went off and how that translated to a pretty, long, before he retired, a long NFL career.
That man won that game by himself.
Listen. I was, I'm rooting for the swag, okay. But when I watched it, I was like, oh my goodness, like he is so
stop that
good.
guy.
And this is on ABC, and he did it from a FCS team with North Carolina A&T, and so now he went to the league. I wonder, could he have had that same success if he would have transferred up to the FBS? And so I know these scouts want to, push all these players to the P4s, because of the money and the exposure, but there is still good football played on the FCS level. There are still great players on the FCS level. And so, like, as Carson Vincent always says, and how he always represents A&M and HBCUs, you literally, going to our school motto, start here and go anywhere. And that includes the league. So, I just want to encourage our players that, yes, you do your best, you get out there. And if you're great, they will find you. They will find you.
Hey, I just want to say, we're saying FCS, the biggest schools and all that, but, we're HBCU, and we just got to keep it 100. Some of these people think white ice is colder. And it's not. So they use that to get you to those other schools. I mean, that's just what it is sometimes. Hey, go play for this school because, of this, that. Like, it's not always the case. Tuskegee, they had a receiver the year before, was great. Tuskegee transferred to Louisville Cardinals. I can't even remember his name now. Because you know why? Because he's on the bench.
Yep, he ain't playing.
He ain't playing. He has prettier uniforms. He has a lot of different variations. He gets to fly on a jet, and go to these games in the ACC. But he's not getting any looks now because he's on the bench because he thought that ice was colder or he thought I would get a better look being on this team doing this and that. But that's not always the case. Like if you're like Jay just said, if you're good, they will find you. They found Robert Mathis. They found Johnny Baldwin. They found Frank Kurz. They found Carson Vincent. They've even found other players that have won undrafted free agent for us. So you don't have to, jump in the portal and do all that stuff to sit on the bench. You can sit on our bench. But if you're good, you won't sit on the bench anyway.
I mean, and the good thing about those, about like the Senior Bowl and also being at the Combine, that's an opportunity that, we can, that's a conversation for another day about how few, FCS guys even get those opportunities, and also D2, D3 guys get those opportunities. But what I will say about this though is that when you do get a chance to be on the field, Carson Vincent showed you he whipped a guy who's considered to be a first rounder, defensive end from Ole Miss. He whipped that guy. Okay. So it goes to show you that when you do get your opportunity, you can shine.
Yep.
And I'm just so grateful and so thankful for, all my life that I've been a sports nut, that I get the opportunity to just say that, hey man, look, I know that SEC is what you see on your TV on Saturday nights. I know you see Big 10 on 3 different networks. I know you see Big 12. I know you see all this different. You see the glitz. You see the glamour. You see all of this. You see the bands. You see the big crowds, all that stuff. But listen, man, if you're a great player, you a great player. You can show out wherever you at. And guess what? It's enough people out here in NFL front offices that really wants great talent. And it's those type of people who are willing to take a chance on people like the undrafted folks that I mentioned.
Yep.
And also it's the same folks that's going to take a chance on Carson Vincent.
Yep.
So, all right. So, great show tonight, everybody. So next week, as Tenarius so eloquently put, we're going to have the stylist of our very own coach, Dawn Thornton, on.
Yep, and she goes by the name of Miss Tanya Pugh. She is on Instagram as unapologetically _Tanya. So she posts coach every time. She'll be on next week kind of talk about all this stuff. How she comes up with it and everything. I think she's in Birmingham. So she'll be here to join us next week.
All right. And then also next week, we'll have the SWAC basketball tournament preview. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll go through some of the games, make some picks, all that kind of stuff. But just remember that on this week, Thursday, you've got men's and women's basketball in action at Grambling. Check that out on SWAC Digital Network. Also 12 noon, if you're in the area there in Huntsville, stop by Bulldog Field and see the ladies play softball against Detroit Mercy. If you're not able to, it's also that doubleheader will also be seen on Bulldog All Access. Also baseball this weekend, 3-game series against Alcorn, every day at 1 p.m., Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Also all 3 games on Bulldog Access. So great show tonight. Shout out to Coach Laron White, Chief of Staff, for joining us tonight and having a talk. And we thank everybody. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. And as always, go Bulldogs. We'll see you next week. Shout out to Jay the Great, Just Dave, T. Gooden, Wild Wayne Cartwright. Love everybody. See you later.